What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, and it's official. Overwatch Classic is coming, and a lot sooner than many of us may have expected, as it is starting tomorrow, November 12th, and will be running for 3 whole weeks. That's right. Tomorrow, we will be jumping back into the past, taking a look at how things were back when Overwatch first launched in 2016, with all the original heroes, maps, game modes, and abilities. This includes Mercy's mass res, Torbjorn's level 3 turret and armor packs, Bastion's old sentry form, and everything else from that era. Yeah, it is actually happening. I'm not surprised in terms of this is basically what we expected based on all the stuff they were teasing last week leading up to the premiere of this trailer, and here it is. It's happening, and it's starting tomorrow. Now, leading into this though, I did have a ton of questions personally about how Blizzard was actually going to execute this mode, and they do explain a good bit of it here in the blog post that they published alongside the release of the trailer. So there are a few notable points here that I want to sort of cover that I think are worth touching on because I think a lot of people are going to have questions about them. So first of all, it sounds like this is actually only going to be the first of perhaps multiple Overwatch Classic events happening going forward. As they mention here in this portion, each Overwatch Classic event will feature heroes and balance from popular moments in the game's history, ranging from the fast-paced and frantic gameplay of the 2017 Moth meta to the triple tank, triple support style of GOATs. In the first Overwatch Classic event, we're taking it all the way back to the original 1.0 release from May 2016, which includes many abilities that haven't been seen for years and all the chaotic gameplay from that era. They then go on to talk a bit about the different abilities we can expect, things like Hanzo's Scatter Arrow, Junkrat and D.Va's ultimates being able to kill themselves, and of course Mercy's mass res. They then move on to saying that the grouping for the heroes will be their 4 original classes, but you're of course not required to play attackers when on attack or defenders when defending. You get to pick the heroes that work best for you. Also, in the first few days, Overwatch Classic will play with the no hero limits rule, as the original release didn't enforce hero limits, so you can have up to 6 of the same hero for any meme comp you want. However, after that, we will enable single hero limits for the remainder of this first Overwatch Classic event. So honestly, I like that they're handling it this way. They're going to have a small window of being able to play 6 Winstons and any of those other chaotic team compositions we all saw back then. But then for the remainder of the event, it is going to have the hero limit in effect, so you can only have 1 of any given hero per team. They also mention that going back to this will, of course, adjust the hero health pools, and they won't have the health regen on all heroes anymore. So every mechanical aspect of a hero's kit in terms of their abilities and any sort of passives and whatnot will indeed be what it was back when the game first launched. Getting onto some important FAQs from this blog post. When can we play Overwatch Classic? It is a limited time event running from November 12th to December 2nd, so 3 weeks right there. It'll lead up to basically the start of season 14, ending a little bit before that, since we're expecting the season to start about a week after December 2nd. So through most of the latter half of season 13, basically. The mode will indeed be 6v6. Additionally, it is not a separate game that must be installed, but rather is a mode that will be playable in Overwatch 2 as part of the arcade. That was another big question many of us had. Is this going to be its own standalone thing? How is this going to be handled? So it will indeed be a game mode within Overwatch 2 itself, which means no separate client or anything like that. Additionally, this classic mode will be using the 12 original maps that first launched. However, they will appear the same as they do in other Overwatch 2 game modes. This includes the recent major reworks to Dorado, Numbani, as well as Route 66 and Watchpoint Gibraltar, with things like match timing and elevator platforms working the same as they do in other Overwatch 2 game modes. Okay, this was a big question I had as well. It seems like they're not going to go truly back to that 1.0 patch, as the maps themselves are still going to be their modern versions as opposed to how they were back then. It is still going to be limited to just that original 1.0 patch pool of different maps you can play. Additionally, as part of the nostalgia of playing Overwatch Classic, players will only be able to use the original Overwatch default skins while playing during this event. That is an interesting point. So no skins. You can probably still do like emotes and have highlight intros, I imagine, during this event, but for playing this event itself, all skins will be their default Overwatch 1 skins. And then the last thing they mention here is that while we're not planning for this to be a single event, we will be measuring player response to inform future plans on whether or not this is something that ever comes back after this initial 3-week period. So yeah, I think they're basically planning to have multiple of these going forward, but this is going to be the initial one where they gauge feedback to it to see how it actually plays and, how well received it is by the community before probably putting too much effort into any sort of follow-up events like this. And that basically covers everything there is to know about this upcoming event. It's basically what we expected. Overwatch Classic. It's coming back, the original form, all the original heroes in their original states. Only the maps basically are going to be in the Overwatch 2 versions of themselves, but we will be getting the old Assault maps as well for the Assault game mode. That is indeed coming back, which means Temple of Anubis, Volskaya Industries, Hanamura, all of those will be back in the game. And of course, overall, the format will be 6v6. Yes, this isn't officially, according to Blizzard, a 6v6 test on their part, but rather just, they want to pay homage to that original format of the game. So, of course, it's going to be 6v6. And I imagine on the back end, at least for Blizzard, they're going to be collecting a lot of data when it comes to players doing 6v6 in this event, probably to see how things perform on a technical level, see how much enjoyment there is for actually playing 6v6 in this event specifically, before we get on to the proper 6v6 testing, which will be starting next season, Season 14. Now, it's also worth noting that in this trailer, there's no sort of indication of Season 14 content. They didn't talk about the season theme or any skins or anything like that, and they haven't shown off or talked at all about the new hero that we're expecting to get a hero trial very shortly after this mid-season patch updates. This trailer was purely just focused on the Overwatch Classic mode, which is cool. I'm glad they have just a dedicated trailer for this. Obviously, this is a big deal. A lot of people are excited for this, and I, for one, will absolutely be playing it. I will be streaming it, in fact, as soon as it goes live tomorrow, so I do hope to see you all tuning in for that. And yeah, otherwise, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on Overwatch Classic. Is this a mode you're excited to jump into and either relive your experiences of the past with the original version of Overwatch? Or maybe you're a newer player who never even played the game back in that time, and this will be your first experience getting to actually play it. Is this something you're hyped for, something you're going to pass on? Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch 2 news, streams, and other content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Yen Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.